Marathon Meeples Top 10 Medium Weight Games.
Now we've determined medium to be a BGG weight of 2.01 to 2.79. Leading things off at number 10, Seven Wonders Duel, and I think a lot of people can say, number 10? This is like, I think it's ranked like number 15 all-time BGG. I think for us, we have played this enough, but not completely. I think we still have a lot to learn here. But from what we've seen of this so far, it's a very fun kind of back and forth two-player game where we're just dueling it out, worrying about the military and everything else, and just trying to work our way up the track and build as many wonders as we can.
Number 9 is a Grand Carnival. This is a new game in our collection, and we are loving the fact that first, you have to build out your grounds of your carnival and I guess the shapes that you can actually build attractions. Then you have to actually put in your attractions that fit within your grounds.
Yeah, it's kind of like a more complex Baron part. And number 8, I think, is something that's in a similar vein, which is Planet Unknown. This has the cool, sexy little plastic bit in the table you roll around.
Not only are you moving up your tech tracks that are going to allow you to do more powerful actions, you're also moving a little rover around, collecting meteors, and doing different things on the board you're building. So it's a movement game, a building game, and a track development game. So there's just so much built in, yet the rule set on it is not that complex that you can get it to the table and you can get going. I would say the only thing about it is it takes a bit to set up.
Yeah, definitely the setup's a little more. The one thing I do like as well about this game is it's almost got that Terraforming Mars kind of corporation thing going on where you have a bunch of different boards and they all play a little bit differently. So there's more than just like one game in here. You could play, one corporation versus another and it kind of changes things up.
Number 7 is Meadow. I'm sure many of you are familiar with Meadow. It is a code drafting game where there's rondelles for different actions. There's just lots going on, but the majority of it is awesomely cute artwork and code drafting.
It's thinky. Like, that game is a lot more thinky. This still falls within the weight, but I almost feel like this is almost like a medium heavyweight game, at least how I play it, because you're trying to match your symbols and put them down properly. And if you're playing with people with AP, I don't know if this is the best game because there's so many options to choose from, but as long as you can kind of like work your way through your turns, there's a lot in here and very enjoyable.
Yeah, and the way that you draft cards keeps it interesting because you can't just go after anything you want. There's always limitations as to what you can go after, and that might help you plan future turns.
Number 6, the Guild of Merchant Explorers. This is a game where you're exploring out. You're putting down cubes, and you're just trying to essentially collect victory points. You're flipping over cards, and everybody has to make a movement on the same terrain. Quick game, easy to set up, get to the table, and fun with the different maps.
Yeah, and I love the cube trails and what you're doing, but it is a little disheartening when you get to second round, and if you haven't built any of the little huts, you're literally starting back at 0. It takes a few games to really get into it and get good at it, so if you do just buy this game, make sure you get past game 3 to really start falling in love.
We'll disagree with you on that. I kind of like that aspect. It makes sense from a thematic standpoint, because if I'm an explorer, I gotta have some place to like hunker down for the night. So otherwise I gotta go back or I gotta build a camp. So I will respectfully disagree with you, even though you're right, dear.
Smart answer. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, hit the subscribe button. Now back to the list. Number 5 is Wolves. This is an area control game, though because you're scoring in different areas, you're going to be doing a lot of movement, pack development, and then there are really neat little terrain tiles that you're flipping that are allowing you to take actions and allowing you to do certain things in different areas. So there's a lot of different management aspects of it other than just area control.
Yeah, I'll echo, this was in our top 10 of 2022, and I'll echo what I said there. Like, great rule book. It's kind of area control for people that don't like area control, or like area control, but it's area control, but it's not like completely mean. You really start into the heavier, like, kind of take other people's stuff off the board in like later rounds. So you're kind of building up your engine, then you get to this point, it's like, okay, I need now to take control in these later rounds, and you're just removing like a piece at a time. So I think it's a great production, I think it's a great game, and it's a unique game, at least within our collection. Number 4 is the 100 Tory. We love this game. A lot of tile laying on this one.
Yes.
But this one's a little bit different. It's kind of like a heftier Carcassonne, but you're going through tiles. So you're laying down tiles, and then you're basically just trying to match up symbols and go through Tory gates to collect a bunch of resources. But it plays quickly.
Yeah, and there's different people you can hire along the way to kind of give you bonuses and bonus actions. So there's a little more than just laying tiles. And then also the resources, you can trade them in for things, or they're going to score you victory points at the end. So you're kind of managing your resources while you're building your tiles and trying to manipulate your routes to get yourself through as many Troy gates as possible. Number 3 is Agricola, or Creatures Big and Small. As you can see from most of our videos, we do really enjoy 2-player games because they are streamlined for that player count. I mean, who doesn't like a game where you're breeding animals? So, Agricola Big and Small, I love it. I love having to build up my fences, figure out what actions to take, my worker placement, all of that is really, are really mechanisms that I love.
Yeah, I love the big box because you get the base game and you get like 2 expansions, but the expansions are good. They add more variety to it. I think one thing, just to echo back to your 2-player thing too, I like it when companies do this because original Agricola goes up to 4, I think. Caverna goes up to 7, and they have like a different version of Cave versus Cave, which is 2-player Caverna. I like it for a number of points. It's streamlined, it's a lot smaller, and it's a lot cheaper. I'm not buying like 7 people's worth of stuff if I'm only really wanting to play that game at 2. Another 2-player game locks in at number 2, is Targi. Targi is a great small box worker placement that I think it's kind of like, you don't get many great worker placement games, even though we just did Agricola, at this smaller player count and this box size. So you're just moving around the board, collecting resources, but you have to pay attention to what the other person's doing because you're putting down your meeple and then you're just doing this cross path thing. It's cool. Yeah,
it's cool. And then there's power and goal cards that allow you to kind of manipulate some of the rules depending on where you put them. So it's simple, very easy to learn, but I would say hard to do really well at.
Yeah, I think you have to play it more often than not just to kind of get back into the swing of things. The nice thing is it's easy to set back up, play. It's a good, we've traveled with this a couple times, and I think we've done videos before on best value games, but this is definitely one of the best values out there at, like 15, 18 bucks.
Number 1, Wingspan.
It's the one about the birds, right?
Yes, it's the one about the birds.
Okay.
It has awesome artwork. There's a great game in. It plays well at numerous player counts. There are expansions out the wazoo for it now so that you can have birds from every different area, and each one comes with a little something extra to add to the gameplay. But the base game alone has a lot of variety based on the types of cards, the goals that come out, and then the only challenge we have with the original Wingspan is the fact that sometimes the last couple of rounds he spams the egg action.
Good strategy.
And no matter what I do, I have never, ever won when he spams the egg action.
Yeah, they fixed that in some of the expansions.
Absolutely.
I say get Wingspan, start out, and then maybe add an expansion or 2 because you can walk away from that Wingspan problem, or have self-control, which I do not. I think this one, of pretty much anything on our list, is like going to be a classic for years and years to come because I think the production, I can't think of many productions that have that level of art. Comes with a bird feeder that you can roll your dice down, comes with these cool wooden dice. The rulebook's great. Like everything has been thought of, just the eggs, there you go. Everything's just been thought of just perfectly. So I think this is a great game, has great table presence. We've gifted this.
Absolutely.
I think we could continue to gift it. But it's a good enough game that it's going to fulfill people that love gaming and don't. There's enough decision making in those early rounds that it still fits like nicely in that medium category.
Yeah, and then all the expansions will let you have this game in longevity. They just came out with the Asia Wingspan, which adds not only extra cards for this base game, but a wicked duet mode that if you do play it at 2 players is a really cool feature. So I think the system is going to become similar to that of like the Ticket to Ride system, where the expansions just keep this in your collection for years. That's our list. We'd love to hear what your medium weight games are down in the comments below.